advocacies will continue with me, and what will urge me to take on the challenge of leading our country is the Filipino people.
Okay. Yes, definitely. We'll talk about your programs in a while, Senator Loren. But I also wanted to ask you if, the reason why I brought that up, the issue of pro-GMA or anti-GMA is because, again, there's been a lot of talk that most everyone has been approached by Malacanang to be, or, for exploratory purposes talks, to be the administration candidate, or, trying to find some permutation na posible.
I can confirm with you now, and I can tell you straight in the eye, in front of your millions of viewers, that I have not been approached by Malacanang for any kind of permutation, as you call it, for 2010.
Okay. All right. So you haven't been approached, and even if you will be offered that possibility, you're definitely not going to take it.
I belong to a political party. That's the NPC. I will abide by the decisions of the party.
Okay. Some presidentiables have moved up in the surveys, like if I'm not mistaken, even Manny Villar and Cheese Escudero. How does that factor into your decision-making process?
Well, of course, as I said, it will depend on the numbers, and I thank the Filipino people for the consistent support that they have been placing on me to always be 1, 2, 3, depending on which survey you're referring to. And if the others have inched up, well and good luck. And those who have slid down, I think you have to work harder. But as for me, I focus on the ball. It's difficult to keep on focusing on other people. Otherwise, that will detract from the time and the effort that you have, not only on running a survey or running for 2010, but on the work we're doing. There's so much work at hand with the global financial crisis, with this meltdown, with the survey of the World Bank saying that only actually 1/3 of the targeted beneficiaries of NFA rice really goes to the beneficiaries. With half our population living on 50 pesos a day, this hard times are in for us, and with Japan even declaring a recession, there's so much to do in our country, and that's what I want to focus on. And in the course of doing all the work, the good work I'm doing, if it will redound to a greater popularity and awareness of my performance and generate that groundswell for people to want me to run, then who am I to say no to them? But that will come as a consequence of my good acts.
Okay. Senator Loren, we'll take a short break. Strictly Politics will be right back. Stay with us.
As we all know, climate change is a global phenomenon, and crafting adequate responses is no simple task. It requires a concerted effort among all players and stakeholders. It is outrageous and unfortunate that a leading female politician, Sarah Palin, U.S. vice presidential candidate, said that she was not too sure that human activity was at the root of climate change, and her prescription for energy security was drill, drill, drill. She should have answered with crisp, renewable energy to inspire and warm the hearts of people and environmental groups who genuinely care about the future of our planet. We cannot alter these marked moments in history, but we can do the next best thing: lead and persevere in the efforts to curb climate change and help push Congresses, parliaments, all policy-making bodies to formulate gender-responsive legislation and projects related to climate change and disaster risk reduction.
Welcome back to Strictly Politics. Still with us, Senator Loren Legarda, one of the presidential hopefuls, although not yet declared, like you said. But you did say in the next few months you will have to make a decision.
I'll have to. Yes.
You have to.
Yes.
Siyempre. And I'm sure people are, waiting with bated breath, waiting for you to make that decision.
Yes. In the meantime, there's so much to solve, so much to do.
Okay. Charter change, it's still moving in the lower house, and there's this petition at the Supreme Court, whether the Senate and the House can vote as one, this whole issue. Do you believe that the Arroyo administration will still try to push it, and will that affect, what's going to happen by May 2010? In other words, are we going to have elections in 2010?
Of course, there will be elections, and we will oppose any form of charter change. That is not the answer or the panacea to the country's problems today. I am not saying that our Constitution, Pia, is perfect. There may be some things that have to be changed economically, in the political aspect, etc. But in the next 12 or even 24 months, for a charter change to be the priority must not be done.
Okay.
And while they may push it, will it prosper? That's a different question.
Have you looked into the, all these observations or, talk that, maybe Pinoys won't want another female president, not after Gloria Arroyo. Have you thought about that?
Of course, I've heard about that. People have asked me that. And my answer is, it's not a matter of gender. It's a matter of character.
Let's talk about snap elections. Is that a practical consideration?
Snap elections will only be possible if there is a vacancy. And if the incumbents don't resign, then there is no vacancy, no snap elections cannot happen. And elections will be held in less than, 24 months, is it? And 2010 January is almost just a year away because it's almost December. So.
Talking about timing, that's another issue that's being used against the latest impeachment complaint against the president. Do you think it should prosper? I mean, the House Committee on Justice is working double time on this.
Impeachment is always a peaceful way of resolving an issue of leadership. So anyone, a congressman, any Filipino, may file an impeachment proceeding. Now, whether it will prosper is a different issue altogether because, as we know, impeachment is a matter of numbers in the lower house. Now, as to the issues as contained in impeachment, I may not be able to comment on it because if and when it goes up to the Senate, we will act as senator judges, and I cannot prejudge the case.
Okay. Some of the older scandals, like Hello Garci, for example, they've never really... Well, some people, some congressmen, some senators would say na tapos na yon, no? Sarado na yon. Do you believe that that they're all close, that people have already come to terms with them? Tapos na ba?
I've always held the belief and continue to think that the major problems of this administration was the problem of mandate and legitimacy that hounded it from day one after 2004.
Okay. Let's talk about the hearings of the Senate done just very recently. Bolante, the fertilizer fund scam, the Euro generals.
San ba talaga nanggaling at san dinala yung 728 million pesos? Please tell us once and for all, wag pong pasikot-sikot. Thank you.
The money was misappropriated or winaldas. Gusto ko lang pong liwanagin that as far as I know, the 728 million farm input and implement program of the DA in 2000 or funding of the DA in 2004 was not a scam. It was a legal, valid, and proper funding.
What was achieved?
There are records.
Well, first of all, we had the first hearing on Bolante. And there was a committee report in the 13th Congress, which was very well done, which already implicated many people up to the president and saying that she must be responsible and be held responsible for the 728 million fertilizer fund scam. However, in that committee report, it also specifically said that this issue will never have closure until such time that the main proponent, Mr. Bolante, speaks out.
If you know that 91% was liquidated, how come earlier ang sinasabi mo, wala ka nang alam kasi nag-resign ka na? So which is which?
He said a 91%.
Ako po ay nakipag-ugnayan po ako kay...
Kasi pagka, ang tinig ko rito, pagka ayaw mong sagutin, wala ka na doon, naka-resign ka na. Pag gusto mong sagutin, meron kang alam na sagutin. Parang, well,